He'll be giving us more the latest update as and when he gets it now. Nyeri Open court proceedings are set to resume today since their closure following the outbreak of COVID-19. Our reporter Ibrahim Karanja is visiting the Nyeri law courts to see what is happening over there. So let's cross live to Ibrahim Karanja. Karanja, good morning. So the courts are opening today away from that visual process that you're used to. Talk to us about the safety measures they'll put in place now that people will be required to appear in court physically.
Well, good morning, Brenda. Indeed, yes, the courts are resuming today. This is following that directive that was issued by the judiciary on Saturday, the 13th of June, 2020. Today, being 15th, is when the physical proceedings at the courts were expected to resume. And here at the Nyeri Law Courts, the truth is that these proceedings have resumed, though with very, very stern measures to prevent a spread of COVID-19 right from the entrance of the courts to the courtrooms. We are seeing a limited number of people coming in. We are seeing very important safety measures even here at the gate where people are sanitized. You have your fever taken even before you are allowed to go in. But Brenda, remember, this resumption today does not necessarily mark an end to virtual hearings. According to that directive by the judiciary, even virtual hearings will still continue. But the cases that are resuming, especially as from today, are those cases that were affected on the March 16th, on the 16th of March rather this year, when operations at the judiciary were scaled down due to COVID-19. And we have seen that communique from the judiciary that says that only criminal cases that at this particular time will be heard at this in the courts. And also for those who have civil matters, they'll have to wait until they are contacted by the judiciary, and they'll be told when their matters will be heard. Right now, I have with me an advocate who was affected by these particular changes. Today, he appears for a matter that was supposed to have been mentioned in March during the COVID-19 crisis. And briefly want to get from him perhaps what he takes of these new directives and how he sees that this new resumption perhaps should be done well to ensure that the cases that were delayed should be executed very fast. Thank you so much, Zachary, for speaking to us on KTN News. Can you tell us, you're here for a matter that is up for mention today, a matter that was supposed to be somewhere in March. Tell us more about it and how exactly other advocates were affected by this.
With this COVID pandemic, the judicial system has really been affected in that the matters that were supposed to come up for hearing since March to date, especially the civil matters that require witnesses to come to court, those matters have not proceeded. That means that there is a big backlog for cases that is between March and May, and today being June. That, especially for me, I had several matters that were coming up for hearing between March, April, May, which matters are yet to be heard, which matters are yet to be determined. The person who is suffering the most is the client that we represent, is the Wajiko that we represent. Most of the matters we are anxious to have them finalized. We are anxious to have them for the clients to get their justice. But with the COVID-19 and the restrictions that were put in place, we were not able to proceed with this matter, bringing a lot of backlogs, bringing a lot of problems, especially for those people who have land matters. They have really suffered because they don't have access to justice. For those who have civil matters, maybe accident matters, they also don't have access to justice. They don't know until when. But with these new measures that have been put in place, we have seen a light, and we are hoping that we'll start having matters proceed, be it 1 or 2 matters per day. With the kind of measures that have been put in place, we can say that we are safe. The courts have really taken up with the MOH measures that have been put in place, and also the guidelines that have been given by the Chief Justice, especially in this court. We've seen that they have tried to implement those changes that have been put by the Chief Justice.
Yeah, Wakili, the judiciary in that communique says that advocates and actually people that have court cases should be checking in the website of the judiciary to see what date their cases have actually been allocated. Perhaps is this a method you have tried? How efficient is it in terms of that virtual communication even before you make that physical appearance in court to be told when exactly your matter is to be held?
It is very sufficient because most of the communication, most of the documents that we file in court, we have in place our email addresses and our phone numbers, and they are using those email addresses and the phone numbers to contact us, to tell us that your matter will be mentioned on a particular date. For instance, the matter that I'm attending today, I received the communication on Friday that I'm supposed to appear today, and that is why I'm here today in court.
Thank you. Thank you. Zachary Gishuki is an advocate here. He goes to appear in a matter in which he represents the matter that was supposed to come up in March, but right now is being held today, 15th of June 2020. Remember that communique from the judiciary that says that only the cases that were affected, actually greatly affected on the 16th, when court proceedings were scaled down, are the cases that will be given priority. And just to get more, in terms of more information from that particular communique, it also says that the virtual hearings will still continue, of course, to also limit the number of people coming to courts. Also, there are the dates or the mention at the time at which the cases are supposed to be mentioned have also been staggered throughout the day and throughout the week to limit the number of people at these particular precincts at any given time, just to ensure that utmost safety measures have been taken in the spread or in regards to the spread of COVID-19 here at the Nyeri local.